Okay, so you sent us this YouTube video, and it's all about the cryptography behind TLS 1.3.
Yeah.
It gets pretty deep into the weeds.
It does.
So we're going to try to help you pull out like the most important parts.
Right.
And really understand like what it all means for you.
Yeah.
And think of this as like your shortcut to knowing how websites are working to keep your data safe online.
Right.
Especially with this whole idea of forward secrecy.
Yeah, what I find fascinating is that it doesn't just tell you that TLS is important for security.
Right.
It actually pulls back the curtain and shows you the mechanics of it, particularly the different key exchange methods, which is the foundation of how secure those connections really are.
Right, because you can't just assume everything online is secure.
Right.
You hear all these stories about data breaches, and it makes you wonder, like, how strong is this encryption, really? So let's start with the basics. When you see that HTTPS in your browser, TLS does work. But what exactly is it doing?
So TLS, which stands for Transport Layer Security, is essentially a protocol that creates a secure tunnel for your data to travel through the internet. It has two main functions: key exchange and data encryption.
So it's like sending a secret message, right?
Exactly.
First, you need to agree on a secret code. And then you use that code to like scramble the message. So only the intended recipient can read it.
Exactly. And the way that secret code or key is exchanged is really important.
Yeah.
That's what determines how secure the whole system is.
Yeah.
And whether someone could potentially decrypt your message, even if it was intercepted.
Now, TLS is like the gold standard today.
Yeah.
But it actually evolved from something called SSL or Secure Sockets Layer.
Right.
It's like TLS had this older sibling that wasn't quite as sophisticated.
Yeah.
So why did we need an upgrade?
Well, think of it like this. Security threats are constantly evolving. Hackers are always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. SSL, while groundbreaking in its time, eventually started showing its age. New weaknesses were discovered. And it became clear that we needed a more robust system to keep up with the increasingly complex threats of the digital age.
So TLS is like the security software update we all need to install to stay protected.
Yeah.
Okay, now the video you sent us dives into three main methods of key exchange. Within TLS, RSA, Diffie Hellman, and this thing called elliptic curves.
Yeah.
Let's break those down, because I think that's where things start to get really interesting.
RSA is like the veteran of the group. It's been around for decades and is still widely used today, especially for things like digital signatures and certificates. You can think of a digital certificate as like a website's ID card. RSA helps verify that the website you're visiting is actually who they claim to be.
So it's all about establishing trust online.
Exactly.
But you mentioned that RSA has some limitations.
Right.
When it comes to something called forward secrecy,
yes.
What exactly does that mean?
Forward secrecy is all about protecting your data. Even if a key is compromised in the future. Imagine this. Someone is recording all of your encrypted internet traffic today, storing it away. Then years from now, they manage to get their hands on the encryption key.
Oh, wow.
That was used to secure those conversations.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
All those things you thought were private suddenly exposed years later?
Right.
Is that really a possibility?
It's a legitimate concern. Especially with the rise of things like quantum computers, which have the potential to break current encryption methods much faster than traditional computers.
Wow.
So forward secrecy is about minimizing that risk. Making sure that even if a key is compromised in the future, past conversations remain secure.
So that brings us to Diffie Hellman.
Right.
The video mentions that it was actually like the pioneer in key exchange.
But it's making a comeback because it can be paired with these elliptic curves to provide that forward secrecy we're talking about. Can you explain how that works?
Sure. Let's start with elliptic curves. They sound complicated, but the basic idea is that they are mathematical functions represented as geometric shapes. And the cool thing about them is that certain points on these curves can be used for cryptographic operations, like creating keys.
So we're talking about like math and geometry working together to create secure keys. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is pretty cool.
But how does it actually work with Diffie Hellman to achieve forward secrecy?
Imagine you have two people, Alice and Bob, who want to share a secret message. They each have their own secret color of paint.
Okay.
But they need to find a way to mix those colors together to create a shared secret color.
Okay.
Without ever revealing their original colors to each other.
Okay. I'm picturing this.
But how do they do that without actually showing each other their secret paint colors?
They start with a common base color, let's say white, which represents a point G on an elliptic curve. Then they each mix their secret color with that white base, creating two new different colors.
Okay.
These new colors are like their public values, and they can safely exchange them without revealing their original secret colors.
Okay, so they've exchanged these mixed colors.
Yeah.
But how do they arrive at the same shared secret color without knowing each other's original secret color?
Here's where the magic of elliptic curve math comes in.
Okay.
Using their own secret color and the other person's mixed color, they each perform a specific set of operations.
Okay.
And because of the unique properties of elliptic curves, this process results in both of them ending up with the exact same final color.
Wow.
Their shared secret key.
So they're able to create the shared secret without ever revealing their individual secret.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It
seems like something out of a spy movie, but it's actually happening behind the scenes.
It is.
Every time we connect to a secure website.
It is pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that even if someone intercepted those mixed colors being exchanged, they wouldn't be able to reverse engineer the process and figure out the original secret colors or the final shared secret key.
So that's how TLS 1.3 uses this combination of Diffie Hellman and elliptic curves to create these ephemeral keys.
Exactly.
Keys that are generated uniquely for each session.
Right.
And then discarded afterward.
Yes.
It's like a self-destructing message system, ensuring that past conversations remain protected even if a long-term key is compromised in the future.
Exactly. And this is a major step forward in online security.
Wow.
Especially as we face new threats like quantum computing.
But what does this all mean for, like, the everyday internet user?
Right.
How does this translate into a more secure online experience for us?
Well, for starters, you're already benefiting from it every time you visit a website that uses HTTPS.
Okay.
That little S at the end of HTTP means your connection is secured with TLS.
Okay.
And most likely the latest version, TLS 1.3.
So we can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that our online banking, our shopping, even our social media browsing is protected by this advanced encryption.
Yes.
But this video also hinted at some potential challenges on the horizon, like the rise of quantum computers.
Right.
Could they really crack the code, so to speak, and render all this encryption useless?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. Quantum computers are incredibly powerful, and they have the potential to break some of the encryption algorithms we rely on today.
Oh, wow.
But the good news is the cybersecurity world is already working on solutions.
So it's like a constant race.
It is.
As technology advances, so do the threats.
Exactly.
And we need to keep developing new defenses to stay ahead of the game.
Right. It's like an arms race.
Is this an arms race?
Yeah.
And one of the most promising areas of research is in something called quantum-resistant cryptography.
Okay.
These are algorithms specifically designed to withstand attacks from even the most powerful quantum computers.
That sounds incredibly complex.
It definitely involves some advanced mathematics.
Okay.
But the basic idea is to create encryption methods that are so complex that even a quantum computer would take an impractical amount of time to break them.
Okay.
Think of it like building a vault with a lock so intricate that even the most skilled safecracker would need centuries to crack it.
So while quantum computers pose a potential threat, it's not an immediate doomsday scenario.
Right.
We're already working on ways to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
But what about the other futuristic concept mentioned in the video?
Right.
Homomorphic encryption.
Yeah.
That one really blew my mind.
It's a fascinating concept.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. It does sound futuristic, but it's an area of cryptography that's gaining a lot of attention.
Okay.
Homomorphic encryption allows computations to be performed on encrypted data without ever needing to decrypt it first.
So you're telling me you can actually analyze data without even seeing the data itself?
Yeah. That's the idea.
How is that even possible?
It's a bit like having a magic black box.
Okay.
You put your encrypted data into the box, perform your calculations, and then get the results out.
Yeah.
All without ever seeing the original data inside the box.
Wow.
It sounds crazy, but the math behind it is actually quite elegant.
Okay, I have to admit, this one is a bit over my head.
Yeah, it's a complex topic.
But I can see how that would be incredibly valuable for things like medical research or financial analysis.
Exactly.
You could process sensitive data without ever compromising its confidentiality.
Right. Imagine being able to analyze medical records for research purposes without ever needing to access the patient's personal information.
Wow.
Or being able to process financial transactions without ever exposing sensitive account details.
That's incredible.
It is.
It sounds like we're moving towards a future where data can be used and analyzed without ever being seen or accessed in its raw form.
Right.
That's a huge leap forward in terms of privacy and security.
It is a significant shift in thinking about how we handle data.
Yeah.
It's not just about protecting data in transit anymore, but also protecting data while it's being used.
So TLS 1.3, with its advanced key exchange methods, like Diffie Hellman over elliptic curves, is our current champion of online security.
Yeah, you could say that.
But looking ahead, we have these even more advanced concepts.
Yeah.
Like quantum-resistant and homomorphic encryption waiting in the wings.
Exactly. It's an exciting time.
It makes you wonder, what will online security look like 10 or 20 years from now?
That's the big question.
What other challenges and solutions might we encounter as technology continues to evolve at such a rapid pace?
That's a question that keeps a lot of cybersecurity experts up at night.
I bet.
It's a constant race to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
To anticipate the threats of tomorrow and develop the defenses we'll need to protect ourselves.
And it's not just about the technology, right? It's also about educating people and creating a culture of cybersecurity awareness.
Absolutely. Even the most sophisticated security systems can be rendered useless if people don't take basic precautions to protect themselves.
So while the technology is evolving rapidly, it's also about empowering individuals with the knowledge and tools.
Yeah.
They need to navigate the digital world safely and securely.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it really feels like we're living in this digital age where, knowing how to protect yourself is just as important as knowing how to use the technology itself.
Yeah, it's like learning to drive. You need to know the rules of the road, how to operate the vehicle. But you also need to be aware of potential hazards and how to avoid accidents.
Exactly. So given everything we've learned about TLS 1.3 and the future of encryption, what's one practical step we can all take today to improve our online security?
Yeah.
What's the digital equivalent of wearing a seatbelt?
One simple but incredibly effective step is to enable two-factor authentication wherever possible. It adds an extra layer of security to your accounts, making it much harder for hackers to gain access, even if they steal your password.
Two-factor authentication. I've definitely heard of that.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I don't always use it. It can feel like an extra step, another thing to remember.
I understand, but think of it this way. It's like having a double lock on your front door. Even if someone picks the first lock, they still can't get in without the second key. With two-factor authentication, even if a hacker gets your password, they can't access your account without that second factor, which is usually a unique code sent to your phone or generated by an app.
So it's like a digital bodyguard for your online accounts.
It is.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm definitely going to make an effort to start using that more often.
I recommend it.
But even with all these technological safeguards in place, it seems like human error is still a major factor in these security breaches.
Absolutely.
We hear stories about people falling for phishing scams or using weak passwords.
You're absolutely right. The human element is often the weakest link in the chain.
It is.
That's why it's so important to stay vigilant and practice good cyber hygiene. Be wary of clicking on links in emails or messages, especially if they seem suspicious or unexpected. And always use strong, unique passwords for all your accounts. A password manager can be a lifesaver here. It generates and stores complex passwords for you, so you don't have to remember them all.
So it's a combination of having the right technology in place and being smart about how we use it.
Exactly. It's like having a security system in your home.
Right.
You can install the best alarms and locks. But if you leave the windows open or give your key to a stranger, it's not going to be very effective.
This has been an incredibly eye-opening deep dive. You know, thanks to that YouTube video, we've gone from the basics of TLS to exploring the future of online encryption.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we've learned about the importance of forward secrecy, the potential of quantum computers,
Right.
and even the mind-boggling concept of homomorphic encryption.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we've gained some practical insights into how we can all take steps to enhance our online security right now.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you.
Yeah.
And to you, our listener, remember, knowledge is power.
Yes.
The more you understand about how online security works, the better equipped you are to protect yourself and your data in this digital world. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay secure.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us.